Bienvenue, Whistle Watchers. Well, that's so far as my French goes. It's been an electric start to the Rugby World Cup, hasn't it? We've got your Emirates fans' questions to come. We've got a whistle-stop tour with Sarah Cox.
Be ready, these are very narrow stairs.
But let's get into Whistle Watch. Right then, why don't we start out in the opening game in Paris, France, New Zealand. We had Will Jordan, a yellow card, or Un Carton Juan. I think that's right for a yellow card, isn't it? Playing a man in the air. Now, some will be saying, well, that's a bit unlucky because his eyes are always on the ball. That is irrelevant. Once a player is in the air catching the ball, the onus is on the player on the ground to make sure that he does nothing to put that player in danger. Now, what he can do, he can jump and compete for the ball. And if he's competing or he's in a realistic position to compete for that ball, and then there's contact, then we don't have foul play and we have play on. But because he's not in a realistic position here to contest the ball, it then becomes illegal contact in the air, dangerous play, and then it becomes all to do with the way that the player landed. Now, don't get mixed up that the player doesn't land on his head means it's not a red card. If the referee or the bunker felt that it was still a dangerous landing, then they could still warrant a red card. But in this instance here, they didn't feel it was a red card threshold, and quite rightly so, they give a yellow card. So just remember, eyes on the ball is no excuse if you're making contact with the player in the air. Of all the excitements of all the rugby in the weekend, there was one big talking point that you've all been talking about. So let's have a look at the Tom Curry yellow card to the bunker, then upgraded to a red. Now, do we have foul play? Yes, we do. Do we have direct contact or contact with the head? Yes, we do. Do we have a high degree danger? Yes, we do. So we are already now on all that on a red card. Are you all with me? Yes, I will believe that you are. So what happens here is this. The Argentinian player jumps in the air. He then comes down, and as he comes down, pretty much simultaneously then contact with Tom Curry into the Argentinian player, and we have contact with the head. Now, it all comes down to something as simple as this. If you felt that Tom Curry was reckless, and he could have done something to avoid what had happened, then we don't have any mitigation and we have a red card. Now let's go to that exciting game on Sunday night, particularly for a Welshman, although I don't think I've got nails left after watching the last 5-10 minutes of that game. And let's talk about the non-assert. Yeah, I think that's no try, is it? So what we have here is, when a player is tackled short of the try line, like anywhere else in the field of play, he's entitled, as long as his actions are immediately, to place the ball. So let's imagine you're tackled short, and then you hit the ground with the ball. Your next movement then is to place the ball on or over the try line. Then the officials will award the try. Now, once a player is held and his knee is on the ground, we have a tackle, so the tackle laws apply. In this instance here, have a close look at this. When the player is tackled, his knee hits the ground, so the tackle is complete. Now, the player then must immediately do something with that ball. He must either pass it, he must place it immediately, or he goes to ground and lets the ball go. But if you look at this closely, what he does do here, he uses that knee to propel himself forward, and then after doing that, he then places to score what would have been a try if his actions were legal. What we have here is a good, accurate decision by the referee via the TMO, and therefore, quite rightly so, the try is not awarded. Another talking point from the weekend was the game between South Africa and Scotland. Jesse Creel's head contact in that game with the Scottish player. So the TMO has looked at this. So when the game is going ahead, the TMO will be looking at everything in the background. Just remember the Hawkeye system he has here, all the different angles, all the different views to look at instances in the game. So the game can carry on. The TMO is looking at this, and then the TMO will decide if he needs to bring something to the referee's decision to then put it up on the screen and officially look at it, or he feels, I can't see anything wrong here, so we won't show the referee because there's nothing to show, and then we carry on with the game. And it's important to note as well that it wasn't cited because the citing commissioner, who also has all the angles, so there's alignment between on and off the field. So TMOs are always working in the background. The TMO, in his view, does not have clear evidence to show that there was actually head contact. So again, it comes down simply to your view. If you were looking at this and you feel there was head contact, we would then enter the head contact protocol and guidelines, and then we would probably end up with a red card. Or if you're looking at this and you were going, well, I can't really see if it actually is head contact, and you don't have evidence to say there was, then we don't have foul play and the game carries on. So in the TMO's view here, he feels that there is no clear evidence of head-on-head contact, thus why we played on. That's it for Whistle Watch. Let's have a look at your Emirates fans questions now. Right then, to all your fans out in France, because I can't be there, I'm going to have a little bit of French back here. Croissant, lovely. Let's have a look at your Emirates France questions. Right. My mum always said, never speak with something in your mouth. Right, let blank 27 at Nigel Owens. During the Rugby World Cup, do referees at all have to communicate with teams in a common language? I assumed English. If so, how does this affect the ref's ability to advise in real time? Surely some challenge with fixtures like Japan and Chile. The official language of World Rugby is English. That's the official language. What you have to remember is that the key phrases of the game, all the teams will understand them, and pretty much most of the players are able to understand a little or speak the language of English anyway. So the referees don't have to learn a language in particular, although some do. But the only thing I would say is the most important thing is that you're consistent on the field and the languages you use are quite clear in the phrases like ruck, roll away. Players will know exactly what you are speaking about. Artrusus Winchman. Hi Nigel Owens. I understand that if a player puts his hands on the ground first and then attempts to jackal, it's considered not supporting your own weight. Why does this not apply to players rucking? All teams, players seem to be put their hands on the ground without, hey, leave the ball be, without sanction. Very good question. Now, first of all, when you're rucking, you must enter on your feet or like a plane taking off. So you come in low and then drive somebody off. What you can't do is just dive in the ruck area, okay? So whether your hands are touching the ground or not is irrelevant as long as you're supporting your body weight. Now, the key thing is here, and what people get mixed up on this is, hands on the ground is not illegal. So if a player has his hands touching the ground but is supporting his own body weight, that is illegal, should be play on. What you tend to see happening is players going to jackal too far behind the ball. So their hands go beyond the ball. They're then using the ground then to support their body weight and scooping back on the ball. This means a player is not supporting his body weight, which means he's off his feet, and that is the sanction. Very, very good question, that. Thanks for your questions. And now we're going to have a look at the Emirates Whistle Stop Tour with Sarah Cox.
Thanks, Nigel. From the south of Wales, I'm here in the south of France, and I am at this wonderful vineyard just outside of Nice. And I would suggest you, Nigel, get away from your cows, stop milking, and come here and try some of the phenomenal wines these guys have to offer. A sandwich between the Mediterranean on the left-hand side here and then the Alps on the right-hand side. So this is pretty cool. Smells like a bottle of wine, surprisingly. Depends who you're asking how tall I am, but I'm currently 5'10" and a little bit, and this comes up to my shoulder. There is a lot of wine in there.
Is a 100% indigenous variety which exists only here.
So I'm told that this variety of grape is only ever grown here, so you can only find this wine here. So that in itself is worth you coming and having a try.
Thank you.
Oh, it tastes like strawberries. Wow. I'm pretending here that I know what I'm talking about. I have absolutely no clue, and I'm dipping in and out of what this lovely lady is telling us because I'm fascinated in where we are. But this is phenomenal wine, and I am very much looking forward to having a little bit more. Again, another one of their great varieties that they only grow here. So an even better reason for you to come and try both of their wines.
Thanks, Sarah. Well, that looks lovely. I'll definitely want to experience some of that. If some of you whistle watchers are out in France, that looks like a nice place to give it a try. Well, that's it. The first week of Rugby World Cup done. And if the rest of it is anything like that, then we are in for a brilliant Rugby World Cup. A bientôt. Bye-bye for now. Anyway, see you next week. Bye-bye.